All right, we have the final PS4 exclusive, like the final big one to talk about before next gen consoles come out later this year. And it's one that I actually wasn't that excited for, besides being the fact that it's from Sucker Punch Studios, which I love Sly Cooper. I mean, I grew up with those games, I loved them to death, and then they come out with the Infamous for the PS3. I really enjoyed the first one. The second game was even better, and Second Son for the PS4 was a really good time, especially when that game came out in the earlier part of this. And for pretty much the whole generation cycle, we only got Infamous Second Son until now, where we get Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah. I think that's how you say it. I could be wrong. That I watched like 2 other videos and heard people talking about it like that, and that's how I'm going to say it. So, Ghost of Tsushima is absolutely one of the most epic and beautiful games I've ever played, but it's one that takes its time. And it's one that I have to acclaim Sucker Punch for what they did, because it's from the guys who make Sly Cooper and Infamous, and you're like, oh, what are they going to do next? Oh, a samurai open world game that's kind of in the vein of an Assassin's Creed. Just like from looking on the outside, that's how it looked like to me. That it just seemed like another Assassin's Creed, riddled with side quests. You're going to climb this tower, light it on fire, do this outpost, and in a sense, yeah, that's kind of what the game is, but there's a better thing. For me, I'm a big fan of Assassin's Creed as well. If you follow my channel for a bit, you guys do understand that. And this is kind of a different type of video as well. I don't talk many video games on here unless they really affect me or I really want to talk about them, because usually I just talk about movies. But today I'm talking about a video game, and that's what it is. It's more of a laid back kind of video discussing video games in general. So if you guys are new here and you guys enjoy just talking geeky content, if you enjoy talking movies, video games, TV, whatever it is, hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss out on content like this over here on a daily basis, as well as comment down below and let me know, have you guys played Ghost of Tsushima? Are you guys excited to play Ghost? Let me know down below in the comments section what your guys' thoughts are. Like I already mentioned, this is a game that I didn't expect to be gratified towards. I wasn't really excited for it leading up. I watched some of the trailers, barely watched any gameplay, but knew it was from Sucker Punch Studios. And for me, this is honestly how every Sucker Punch game kind of comes out to be. When the Infamous games were coming out, I wasn't really paying much attention to them, and then they came out, I got them, and I loved them. And really, every game from them, this is how it's kind of become. And something I want to claim them is that they just didn't go back to Sly Cooper. They didn't just go back to Infamous or another IP in the Sony brand. They completely made their own thing. And listening to interviews with them, seeing that they wanted to create a game around swordplay, but they didn't know what yet, and they had so many different ideas, I'm happy they went with the samurai way. Because this game is absolutely, again, epic and beautiful. Probably one of the most epic games I've ever played. And I'm not saying this game is perfect. I do have my negative cons towards it. I have some nitpicks towards it, but overall, as a game to end the PS4 life cycle, this is an excellent game to do so. Which, let's get it out of the way. Let's make this game, like, obviously this game has a lot of comparisons to, say, Assassin's Creed, Breath of the Wild, and very much so, it is pretty much Assassin's Creed mixed with Breath of the Wild, all put together, and maybe even a little bit of The Witcher in there, and you can feel that all inside this game. Big thing that sets this game apart from any other action RPG adventure that you've ever gone into, especially in a giant open world, is its art style. The graphics, the artistics of it all is amazing. I'm not joking. The trailers do not give it justice. The gameplay you see on YouTube and all that does not give this game justice. But when you dive into this game and actually start playing, there are multiple times where I barely use that screenshot button on the PS4. I used photo mode more in this game than I probably ever will, because there were so many fascinating shots that I could take. And really, this game feels like a movie. And one game I'm going to be in particularly talking about maybe later this week, which is Death Stranding, and which I also finally beat. That's a really gorgeous game as well. And that game legit feels like a movie at some points because of all the cutscenes. This feels like a classic old samurai movie. And you do have the Kurosawa mode, the black and white mode, which is just a great addition to kind of throw in here at times. But I ended up taking that off. I probably used it for maybe 10% of my journey, just because the graphics, the colors, everything is so beautiful. It feels like it's just coming right out of a painting. And Ghost of Tsushima really has that come off as an overflow and really adds to this world. And that's really one of the things, is that, like, I loved exploring. I loved going to the next area. I loved doing the next mission because I wanted to see what world and what location it would possibly take me to in here. Some of the burned down villages, it's still just an awe and shock and haunting, to all the beautiful locations, to when you follow around a little fox just to his den so you can do some worshiping right next to it to upgrade your character more. Every detail of this game is absolutely stunning. Every village, every part, every single place is so unique that you travel to, and it is absolutely gorgeous and is easily the best part about this game and probably one of the most beautiful games I've ever played in that part. But also touching on the most beautiful aspect of this game is absolutely our main hero, Jin, and his story of what it is to become a samurai and when ways must be changed. This, it's interesting. The story I was not really hooked on in the beginning. It actually took me quite a bit to actually get in. I was interested. I was like, all right, this is a revenge story. It's taking over. It's going to be that basic thing. But the Khan himself, the villain, I actually started really liking his ideologies and stuff like that. And, they don't go into much detail about his background and stuff, but his ideologies is what kept me intrigued. But really the other kind of antagonist that comes along the way, obviously not getting into spoilers, really is part of Jin's journey. And Jin's journey as a whole is what kept me captivated. I really didn't really care about any of the other characters around him. I think Yuna, absolutely great, loved her, but everyone else, whatever. I they have their side stuff, and I'll be honest, when I started doing their side stuff, I started kind of losing interest in the game. It felt a little bit repetitive, and if that's going to be one of my nitpicks, it's one of my nitpicks. I think a lot of the quests, especially the side stuff, gets super repetitive. Go here, track this person, kill this person. Go here, kill all the Mongols, kill this person, stealthily kill this person, do not raise the alarm, save the survivors, and that's what it came down to be. There were some fun aspects that did add a little bit more to that, and I will get into that. I think the story kind of does that, but the gameplay can get a little bit repetitive, which kind of makes it for a game that's hard to binge, and I definitely stopped binging this game midway through, which is why this review is so late, because I wanted to do other things and play other games and all sorts of stuff like that, but it still doesn't make it a bad game. This is still a really great game with really good mechanics, which, let's talk about the combat now. The combat's great, especially as you start upgrading your character. Like, in the beginning, you're getting your ass kicked, but by the end, by the ending last mission, I just felt like a badass. You truly feel like the ghost, and that's what I loved. Like, there's this part where you can, terrorize the Mongols, where you can, kill someone in such a gruesome way, and then everyone just runs away, and I'm just shooting them with my arrows as they're running away, and I love that. I love how you feel like this demon that everyone views you as in this world, and as the ghost, the savior, the hero. It is awesome, and I loved every aspect of those feelings of when it really made you feel like that, and it just feels so satisfying as you grow, as you get to those points, and as you grow your character. Again, a lot of that goes to Jin's storyline. Once I stopped doing the side quest, I absolutely was more invested in the story and started going about and just doing the story quest, maybe some things here and there, but really just focusing on that. And by the middle point of this story, I was finally locked into Jin's story. Again, just Jin's story. Everyone else I was kind of whatever on, but his uncle I think is a big part of this as well, and especially by the final 10 minutes of this game, I was absolutely in tears. The last sequence in this whole entire game is very touching, and it's emotional and hard to get through, but it's a part of the samurai way. It's a part of this culture, and it makes you feel like you are a part of this culture and breaking traditions. There's so many great things that come about to the ending that made me again swell up in emotion and go, God, sucker punch, you did it. It's stuff like that that makes me so impressed with Ghost of Tsushima. I might have issues. There's might be some clunky things here and there. Sometimes I'm so shocked there's no lock on camera, but at the same time I kind of like that, because when you are a samurai, it kind of makes it, the way that you fling the controller and use everything, it does make you feel like a samurai. It kind of reminded me of how Skate used to be. If anyone ever played Skate, and the way that you'd use it, it was kind of unique. But this is just a game that absolutely is epic. It has one of the best intros to a video game ever. Like the way it starts out and the way it sucks you into this world. The art design is amazing nonetheless. The graphics, the character development of Jin is so unique and honestly touching, and it just in general, the way it brings you into all these traditions are absolutely awe-inspiring. Again, I have issues with some of the clunkiness, some of the weird bugs I would get throughout this game that were completely dumb, and sometimes I didn't love the parrying button. I get how it's supposed to work, but I think there could have been a more refined way of doing parrying. But absolutely, this game is just so damn unique, and it's one that I think is going to go down as a very underrated game for the PS4. This and Days Gone. Days Gone is definitely more like not as artistic and stuff like that, but that's still a fun game. No one talks about that, but this game is just truly something. Before I give you guys my final thoughts on Ghost of Tsushima, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, comment down below, let me know your guys' thoughts. Are you guys excited for this game? Are you not? Have you played it already? Let's discuss it down below, guys. As well as head on over to Samsung Films on how to see films early, and of course, it's a big thank you to you and a big thank you to my Patreon supporters, because without you, I wouldn't be able to do this. Tsushima is an epic adventure that transports you to a fascinating world, one filled with an excellent protagonist in Jin who must do all he can to save his land. It's beautiful, it's poetic, and it's downright touching. It left me heartbroken, but in the end, I was in love with this game. And again, I have my cons of this game, but there are aspects that really just won me over and won my heart over to this game, to the point where I beat the game and I said, I don't know what to do now. I have like no new games to play, but I'm excited to kind of dive into this world and explore and do the other side quests that, yes, I found a little bit mundane and repetitive, and we'll see if they still continue to be that way, but I still want to live in this world. I still want to explore this world and do as much as I possibly can, because Ghost of Tsushima is easily a 9 out of 10. Absolutely stunned by this game. I was very happy with this one, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to be as well. So make sure to comment down below, let me know your guys' thoughts. I can't wait to discuss this game with you guys. Share this video if you guys enjoyed it, as well as subscribe so you don't miss out on content like this if you're on a daily basis. Like I mentioned, I do have movie reviews coming out for some early movies, some TV shows, and of course I do have a Death Stranding video coming very soon. I'm still kind of formulating how I want to discuss that game because I just finally beat it, so that's going to be interesting. Thank you guys again, and of course until next time, stay classy.